everybody, this is Michelle Fox and welcome back to The Simple Quilter. As always, I'm glad to be here today filming this video for you. I've been spending the past week learning how to use the Bloc Loc Flying Geese ruler, which is today's topic. And I've been enjoying learning how to use this, and I'm looking forward to using it to make quilts and other quilt projects. So the quilt I have behind me is a quilt I made quite some time ago, and it has a lot of flying geese in it, so that's why I hung that, but I'm going to step aside and let you see the quilt. Now, since I made this quilt a long time ago, probably 18 years ago or more, I do have to say that I struggled with the flying geese because I hadn't been quilting for a long time then, and I've always struggled with the 1/4 of an inch seam. So I did take a close look at the points, and most of them have turned out pretty good, but I think that my points and piecing is going to look a whole lot better using these flying geese rulers. Okay, so let's get started. So I purchased these 4 flying geese rulers as a set from Amazon, and I'll include that link in my description below. But I wanted to have several of the rulers, so I ordered the 4x8, the 3x6, the 2x4, and the 1.5x3. And you can see the corresponding flying geese. So the ruler also makes a square and a square. You can make partial flying geese, or you can make a parallelogram. I've never used a parallelogram in piecing before, that I'm aware of anyway. Alright, and then they show you this little neat tip that you can use to make these half square triangles as you're making the flying geese unit. Now I just used the 2x4, 3x6, and the 4x8 to do the half square triangles. I felt like the 1.5x3 was just too small. I didn't want to work with that small of piece, so this is all that the ruler makes. Now I'm going to demonstrate and show you how to make the 2x4 flying geese block, but they're all made the same way, so I don't need to show you how to do each one because the technique is the same. Okay, the ruler comes with instructions on how to make the flying geese, and on here I've highlighted the rulers that I bought, and it just tells you what size of square to cut and what size of rectangle you'll need. And then on the back are measurements for making the square and the square. Okay? So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut your rectangles and your blocks. And as you can see, I've just done this in the different sizes. So the first thing you want to do after cutting your squares is you want to mark a diagonal line on the wrong side of your fabric. Now be sure it's the wrong side. I've already made that mistake by marking on the right, so you're just going to mark that line. Now this was a really cool tip. So this is a 1/2 inch ruler, so they suggest that you mark 1/2 inch away from that line, and you're just going to mark that. And then when you sew and you go to trim off the corner, you already have a half square triangle made. So you don't waste this piece, you end up using it to make the half square triangles. And I thought that was really neat. In the past I have snowballed lots of blocks and I've saved these, but I've never done that technique. And how cool is that going to be? Because then I'm already going to have all those sewn. So I really like that tip. Okay. So you can sew the one line if you don't want to save the little corner piece, or you can mark that so that then you'll just end up sewing both lines. Then you're going to just take your ruler, line it up there, take your rotary cutter, cut that off, and you're going to have the corner triangle. Well, here, let me just go ahead and do that. Then you're going to have the corner triangle and your piece. Okay, so it's going to look just like that. I like to press mine open, so then you just press it open and you have a nice thing there. Then you lay your next block down, or your next square down, sew your two lines, and again you're just going to cut that off and then press that open, and you're going to end up with your oversized flying geese unit. Now this is where the ruler comes in. I love this because you just lay the ruler there and you just push it up, and it hits those seams and then locks in place. It's so cool, and you have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around from of which you need to trim. So I'm just gonna trim those. You can spin that without that mat, but since I had that little mat, I just wanted to use it so I didn't misplace any of that while I was moving. And there you go. You just have a wonderful flying geese unit. Alright, easy, easy. And again, I've made them in all the sizes and the techniques the exact same. Alright, the next thing I want to show you is how to make the square and square. And I just selected using the 4-inch finished block. And so I had to cut a gold square that was 3 inches, and then the green squares were also 3 inches, and then I'll show you the whole sequence using these brown blocks. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do, you're going to take your square and you're just going to fold it in half and just give it a little press right there with your fingernail. Okay? Then you're going to take this is 2 triangles because I took the 2 3-inch blocks and cut them in half. So that made 4 triangles. And I'm just going to lay these down on the block. Oops. Lay those down on the block, and I'm going to match the point up with that little fold line I created. Alright, then you're just going to trim these up like so. Alright, then you have 2 pieces, and you're not going to want to sew them, you're not going to want to lay them there and line them up again because you're going to line these up here. Alright, you're going to sew across there. I'm going to put these on the side right there, and you're going to sew across there. So your block will end up looking like this. And then of course you'll just press those open, and you'll have this little thing. And as you can see, there are my little crease lines. I recreased that because it wasn't showing up very well. Now this is where you line the piece up and then sew. And you take your second one and lay it down there, line it up, and then sew. And then of course you'll press those open, and you'll have your square and a square. Now I'm using the 2 by 4-inch ruler. So what you do is you just take this and you just slip it down there and you just push it up, and it locks onto that seam. Now we're only going to make one trim. We're only going to go straight across the top. Alright, and we're going to turn that Put the ruler in place, push it up, and trim across the top. I'm going to put that in place, trim across the top. One more time. And there is your beautiful square in a square. And as you can see, you've got a perfect 1/4 of an inch. And it's just going to sew up perfectly. I did want to show you a little project I made. It's just a little mug rug. And I just wanted to show you how nicely those points turned out. Just 3 flying geese. The points here came out fantastic. These came out fantastic, and they were so easy to put together. I didn't even pin them. They just went together perfectly. I'm just amazed at how accurate these flying geese have turned out, and I've just never really used specialty rulers before. And last week I showed you the video on how to use the log cabin trim tool too, and I'm so excited to use both of those. So I've already been using the log cabin trim tool too to make the quilt that was up on my design wall last week, and I'm looking forward to using the flying geese rulers to make quilts and quilt projects in the future. I really do like the accuracy, and I'm just surprised I've never used them before. So I hope that you'll find them to be as fun and easy to use as I have. Now, if you liked today's video, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. And as always, please leave a comment. I love to get the comments, and I try to reply to every single one. I've been telling you in my previous videos that I'm working on organizing my quilt room. So my next video will give you an update on how I'm coming along with some of that organization. And so until next time, have fun quilting.